Welcome to the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast, the podcast where we make 5-minute decisions that can change your business, your relationships, and your life. Hey, this is Dean Soto with Freedom in 5 Minutes, freedomin5minutes.com, also prosulum.com. And today, again, we are here with another podcast. Today's topic is this: escaping VAs and bleeding ears. That and more coming up. Okay. Woo! We are back with another podcast. And wow, today has been quite a eventful day. A day full of 5-minute decisions. Decisions to not rip people's throats out, decisions to not yell, decisions that can affect my business, can affect a whole bunch of different things. Or could affect all those things. Wow, is all I gotta say. From the moment I woke up, it was decision. So let's start with the first one. Every Monday morning around 7 o'clock, and normally all my children are sleeping and it is clear, like my schedule is clear and everything like that. All is going well. On Mondays at 7 a.m., I meet with my staff. And this particular time, it was the day after daylight savings time. Which means, in the fall, everything gets lighter sooner. Which means children who see the light enter their room immediately start saying to themselves, "Oh, it's morning time." Even when it's 6 o'clock in the morning, it is morning time. And I'm going to wake up. And I'm going to cause havoc. And that is exactly what happened today. So yeah, the basically, before I could even get my entire staff meeting going, I had a lot of children that were already up and ready to go, and so I wasn't really able to focus too heavily on my staff meeting. Normally I'm doing training, I'm doing a lot of different things like that. But this morning, all of the children were up. Not all of them, but a good majority of them, the little ones at least. And that being the case, I didn't have my full attention on the staff meeting, which was somewhat a good thing and somewhat a bad thing. So the reason why it was a bad thing is obviously I couldn't focus solely on my staff meeting because I had kids running in and out and talking to me and all that other stuff. It was a good thing because I had a couple bits of bad news. I had one virtual assistant, and this happens all the time. It's just, it's going to happen no matter what. With any type of employees that you have, you're going to have employee turnover. But I had a virtual assistant for a pretty big client of mine suddenly quit because she had it's not, it had to do with her being pregnant, and I think she was getting exhaustion. So when Marissa gets pregnant, especially with pretty much every one of our girls that we had during that first trimester, she could barely keep her eyes open. It was bad. She not only did she have morning sickness, she would be just napping the whole day because you have to think that you have this little thing who's sucking all of the energy out of you. So I don't doubt that was actually the case. But unfortunately, that left one of my customers to not have somebody to support them. And then to top it all off, we had just placed really good VAs with other customers or other new customers, new prospects who could have waited for another week or another 2 weeks for their VA. It was the perfect storm, the worst timing that could possibly have happened. But the thing is that despite it sounding so complicated, it really came down to two things. One, discussing what all of the options were, and then two, making a decision and moving forward. So what did we do? My general manager, actually my entire staff, we started talking and discussing kind of the best course of action that we could take. And generally we came to the consensus that we would let them know what the issue is and let them know that they are our top priority and get them somebody as fast as possible. It might take a week, it might take a week and a half, but we will make it happen. And at the same time, make ourselves available and also, compensate money-wise wherever that needs to be and so on and so forth. So once we were researching all of the possibilities, it really came down to just, boom, making a decision and going for it and going with it. On my end, I went and called my customer and just let them know, hey, we're here for you. If you need anything, please let us know. We'll figure out some way to help if need be. And then my other staff emailed them and are just in constant communication. So, things like this happen, and I always want to make sure that my customers are taken care of. And so really the best case scenario would have been that we would have already had VAs that were ready to go and just plop them in as a replacement for this one other VA that was leaving. But it wasn't the case, so c'est la vie, it is what it is. But it really... It ended up being a good thing because we just made the decision and pushed through and moved on. It really was that easy. It's something that we couldn't control. And on top of that, even if we could control it, there was nothing, I don't know. Even if we could control it, we would have put somebody in there. But right now we can't control it. We made a decision. That's really the only way we can control anything, was make a decision and then see what happens. We'll get feedback right away. The next thing that happened was that we got a dog, and this dog is so awesome. 3-month-old Cane Corso. Some people call them Cane Corsos. I don't know which one you do, but from what I can tell, it's Cane Corso. And the dog, when we went to the breeder over here, the dog had their ears cropped. And I don't know if you know what cropping ears is typically with pit bulls or Cane Corsos, if you don't crop their ears, they have little floppy ears. And they look cute. To me, they look cute. But some people like to cut portions of their ears off and then shape the ear. They'll actually put these little I don't know, just makeshift gadgets where they glue this gadget onto the ear, and it has a string tied between the two ears, and what it does is it pulls the flaps of the ears. Once the ears are cropped and they're made into these small little lobes, they use these gadgets to make the ears stand up. And so it gives the Mastiffs and Bull Terrier type dogs this look that is, to me, it looks really, really cool. Would I personally have cropped the dog's ears? No. To me, it's one poor thing. I wouldn't. There's no. Some people will argue, but there really is no benefit to doing that other than aesthetics. And I'm thinking, poor dog, having their ears basically cropped. I wouldn't want my ears cropped. But we saw this dog, and we thought she was just absolutely wonderful. In fact, if you go back to, or maybe it was last one, but 1 or 2 podcasts, you'll hear me talking to little Luna. So she had these ears that were cropped and so on, and the breeder said, oh, this is how they look really bad right now because we just recently had them cropped. Don't worry, they're going to get better. All you have to do is give her these antibiotics, and you can use this one spray. It'll help heal everything up and yada yada. And we're like, okay, no problem. All right, if that's the way it is. Weird. Personally, I wish I would have had, this is where the decision not to confront people and not to be assertive shows it goes along with this one concept called doing the easy hard things before they turn into the hard easy things, which means that I should have asserted and said, okay, well, we're not comfortable with the whole ear cropping gadget thing that you have on her right now. Let's put a deposit. Can we put a deposit on the dog? And when the dog's all healed up and so on, and the stitches are removed and everything, then we'll come and pay the full price and get the dog. But no, because I was too chicken to make the decision to be assertive and confront and say something like that, we brought the dog home like that. And it was interesting that the breeder would even let us do that, but it didn't seem like she had a problem with that whatsoever. So all of that being said, here's what happened, is that when we first got her, she said, no, that's normal. This is normal. It looks great. This is what, it's just going to look bad. It'll heal up. It'll look good after a while. Don't worry about it. Well, 2 days later, we took her to a 4-H class that my child goes to for dog training and dog obedience and dog showing and all this other stuff. And the instructor looked at the dog and says, ooh, look at her ears. That doesn't look right. And of course, my wife at the time is like, okay, I don't know anything. I don't know if this is supposed to be this way or not. Well, the trainer said, you should take her to the vet tomorrow, because it was a Sunday. Today's Monday. You should take her to the vet tomorrow. And my wife said, okay, we have to take her for a health assessment anyway, just to make sure. It's part of the whole contract with the breeder anyway. This morning, I take her to the vet, and as soon as the vet sees her ears, the vet's like, oh, yeah, that's really bad. It had this crust, this goop, this nastiness all around. It was like bacteria or whatever. And I just told the doctor what the breeder told me, that this is what it's going to look like, and this is the worst it's going to get, and yada yada, and it's just going to look bad. And he's like, and he basically grabs the dog and holds her down and starts pulling at the stuff that's on her ears. And it's just flaking off, coming off, and it looks so gross on the table. And opens up the wound and shows me that the wound's not healing at all, and it's just a bad situation. So, super cute old man, by the way. He's almost like a little mad scientist of a veterinarian, and super gentle, and you can obviously tell loves his job. Loved it. But he then goes and tells me, hey, it's going to be about $200 and something to fix this. He was almost apologetic about it. And I'd look at him, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, 5-minute decision, right? I just say, well, I'm not going to be able to do anything about it at home. So there we go. There's the decision. And so we decided, basically the dog has to stay overnight over there. They had to clean everything out and redo the healing of the ears and so on. Cost me $200 and something bucks, and another trip to the city. But here's the deal. Had I waited and did not make the decision to help my customer in the beginning and just eat it and take the pain, whatever the pain's going to be with the customer, and had I waited to take the dog to the vet and waited to get the dog treated after I found out the price, both situations could have turned into really bad situations. The dog could have had a major infection. Customer could have felt like, whoa, you guys totally dropped the ball and didn't even bother to communicate with us, did not care about us in the slightest. Had I waited on both, that's what I would have ran into. And even if the customer came back and said, we're not happy and so on and so forth, well, at least I can say, yeah, that's why I came to you as soon as possible. I knew that was going to be the case, but I care about you guys. I want to make everything good and right and everything like that. That's why we're comping you. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're going to make sure that the next person we get is going to be amazing. That's why we do systems documentation as well. For everybody does, and we have all our VAs do that, so we can literally just put somebody in there and they can take over right away since you already have the documentation. These are the things. These are, if I would have hesitated, it would have become worse in both instances. The more you hesitate, the more things get worse. And so it really does, in the long run with our dog, based on the price that we actually got the dog, we actually have paid less money than what we would typically pay for a Cane Corso anyway. Here's the thing is that the more that we don't make decisions, the more that we allow things to linger, the harder things get. So what's one thing right now, whether it be in your business, whether it be with your family, whether it be with friends, relatives, whatever it might be, your work, what's one thing right now that you're letting linger, or that you're not just coming clean? And you're not just saying, boom, here's what we need to do. Here's what I need to do. I need to make this happen. I have to make this happen. What's that one thing right now that you are failing? And yes, I'm using that word. Probably not the best word, probably not the nicest word, but you're failing to take some sort of action on. And it's just going to continue to fester, just like the bacteria on my dog's ears. To the point where her ears could have been totally jacked up for the rest of her life. To the point where it could have caused major, major health issues later on. To the point where my kids would have been disappointed. Where my wife would not have trusted me with an animal. Where's that one thing that you're lingering and waiting to make a decision on? I want you to make a decision right now. Right now. Make a decision and move forward and see what happens. Even if it's going to be painful, it's going to be a lot more painful later if you don't make the decision now. So, all that being said, I need to go in, and it is a Latin lesson time, so I'm going to be teaching some Latin to my children. If you want to find out more about Freedom in 5 Minutes, go check out the Lost Secret episodes at freedomin5minutes.com. If you're a business owner and you want to find out more about specialized systems, virtual assistants, and so on, you can go to prosulum.com, prosulum.com. Oh, guys, you guys are amazing, and I cannot wait to see you in the next Freedom in 5 Minutes episode.